Go for it.
In order for you to use True Integrity permanent and semi-permanent hair color, as of today, I'm going to run through the basic things you need to know to use this color, which is going to be just like any other hair color that you've ever used, except for some extra points. Point number one is our mixing ratio, which is mixing 1 part of color to 1.5 ounces of developer. If you look at our mixing ratio chart here, you'll see that 1 tube of color is 2 ounces of color, and you're going to mix that with 3 ounces of one of our developers. If we move over to the developers, the first thing you want to remember is that we cover gray with 10 volume developer, not 20. That 10 volume developer is used to cover gray tone on tone or darker for gray coverage and for your reds. Most brands use 20 volume, our brand uses 10 volume. The reason that our brand uses 10 volume is because of something we call nanotechnology. And in nanotechnology, we just made a very small dye molecule that will go under the cuticle into the cortex and maintain itself in the cortex because it's so concentrated and because it has the ability, being nano, to go very, very deep into the cortex. Our 20 volume lifts 1 to 2 levels, just like anyone else's 20 volume. Our 30 volume lifts 2 to 3 levels. Our 40 volume lifts 3 to 4 levels. It's just like any other developer you've ever used. If you need to lift, it will give you 100% coverage with 20 volume, 30 volume, or 40 volume. But remember, tone on tone or darker, always use 10 volume for your gray coverage. When you need good gray coverage, extra gray coverage, instead of having you purchase the double N series and have more inventory, we want you to use a product that we have which is called Conceal. Conceal comes in 2 formulas. One is levels 3 to 6 and the other one is levels 7 through 10. Whenever you're going to use our ash colors, our reds, or our coppers, you want to generally mix 25% of the formula as the proper conceal, and the rest, 3/4 of the formula, will be your target color, whatever color you were using. You generally do not need conceal with your neutrals, your neutral warms, your gold colors, because you know that those always cover gray well, but you certainly will want to use them with your ashes and your reds and your coppers. The next thing that's very important about our brand is that in order to give someone a gloss or less coverage, we have something called Clear. 1 tube of a product called Clear, which is either mixed into a color to shear it out and make it have less color molecule, or you're going to take 1 ounce of Clear and mix it with 1.5 ounces of our demi-permanent developer. You're going to leave it on 10 or 15 minutes and you're going to have a glossing surface. So instead of using something like Shades EQ, where you would have to literally buy 30 or 40 or 50 more tubes which have some color and some clear in it, you just have the clear in a tube and you mix our colors any way you want. So it gives you a lot of creativity. In our line, you also want to realize that our toners are not purchased separately. Our toners are simply a formulation of 1/2 ounce of any color and 2 ounces of our demi-permanent developer. The magic of our line is always our demi-permanent developer. So we have formulas here for neutral, ash, gold, and mocha toners. However, you can make any color literally you want into a toner by following the formula. 1/2 ounce of color, 2 ounces of the demi-permanent developer. Our line includes a high lift series. We call it our ultralight blonde series. We know that ultralight blondes are generally to be used on virgin hair, generally from level 6 and higher, level 6 to 10, to take someone from that level 6 up to a level 10 in about 30 or 40 minutes using 1 part of one of our ultralight blonde colors and 2 parts of 40 volume developer. So it's 1 ounce of ultralight neutral or 1 ounce of ultralight ash, or mixing half of each, you'll make ultralight neutral ash, so you don't have to buy that particular color. Mix with double 40 and you have your ultralight or high lift blondes. You have intensifiers in the book. The intensifiers, pretty much like anyone else's intensifiers, are additives. You have yellow, red, and red-violet. And graphite would be our corrector to correct unwanted brassiness. Last but not least is our repigmentation formulas. And in this chart, we teach you how to do color correction with our standard colors by simply going to this chart, going to the color that the client wants to repigment or fill back to. In other words, if she wanted to fill back to a level 5 brown, we would use 6C as our filler color, just from whatever the chart says, mixing that again with our demi-permanent developer. And what it is 1 ounce of 6C and 2 ounces of demi-permanent developer. And if you follow the directions, you're going to apply it, process it 10 to 15 minutes, shampoo it, towel dry it completely, and then go ahead and color over that filled or repigmented hair. And this is called color correction, and this is a big winner in any beauty salon to be able to correct. That's the basics of how this particular brand works. It is just like any other hair color line with these few extras, but it saves you a lot of money and it gives you a lot of artistic freedom. Amen.